Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. Spend a day with me as I do a lot of foraging today in our property for things to come in the future. So I did a few videos about living below the poverty line, and some people ask me, what does living below the poverty line mean? I'm going to give you a little bit of some answers. Google says living below the poverty line for two people is $21,150. We live below the poverty line. I don't make $21,150. How do we live below the poverty line, and why is the biggest question. Either you get it or you don't. So why would we choose to live this way? We wouldn't have to. I could get a job tomorrow outside of the home, and so could my husband. But yet we chose a different path. Now, of course, this choice isn't for everyone. In fact, if everyone chose what we did, we'd have a hard time finding people working in the workforce. But we chose peace of mind, simplicity, a slower pace of living compared to the rat race of earning an income only to spend it more. That is our choice. It's nice that we all have a choice in life, and some people would be bored if they would be at home all day. I've had many women tell me, I could never be home all day. That's not what I enjoy. But for me and my husband, we do enjoy it. We enjoy spending our time at home, doing small things in life. A lot of it depends on how you grew up. I grew up in a home where my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was self-employed, but my dad worked a lot. Of course, he was home for meals, but my dad was driven by an income and driven by money. He liked having money. There's nothing wrong in having money if that's what drives you. But for me, I was always different. As a little girl, I would pretend that I was in Little House on the Prairie. I would pick my mom's marigolds in her flower beds, and I would pretend I was cooking food. It seemed like ever since I was 5 years old, I was destined for the YouTube life, and that is showing the world very prairie, homespun, homemade type living. I was happiest when I was at home just doing the everyday things and being a homemaker. I've always been a homemaker, that's all I've ever known, and it is a simple way of living. You know, at first, I was somewhat embarrassed by saying living below the poverty line, even though that is nothing to be embarrassed about. The way I grew up, that would have been something that you wouldn't want to announce to anyone. In fact, you wouldn't be that way. But you see, I chose that. I chose to live a life different. I chose to live a life that doesn't have to do with materialistic things. While I do love going thrift store shopping, and I do love nice things, it's not about that. So I'm not spending money on clothing. Even though I didn't spend a whole lot on it, I'm not spending any money. Zero money. Zero money on anything other than necessities. And even my necessities had a double look. Well, I have to have this and I have to have that. What are true necessities in life? There's a good question. When I started making these kind of videos, I had no idea what reaction I would have. The whole idea of these kind of videos was to share with you inspiration, to share with you you're not alone, to give you something that is positive about a subject that a lot of people have a problem with, and that is low income, poverty, all of the things that people say, oh, that's negative. Poverty consciousness is a horrible thing. Actually, it's not, in my opinion. My opinion is this. I think that any life that you live can be a beautiful life if it's something that you are doing that gives you inspiration. I chose to live a simple and different way. I chose to live without the conveniences that a lot of people think you need to have. It's not poverty consciousness. It's not being negative about poverty. It's actually enjoying the finer things in life that are not things. You know, the best things in life are free? No. The best things in life aren't things. And you know what? Living below the poverty line has taught me one thing, that it's all in the matter of your perception. If you think that's negative, then you have a negative perception on life. I like to think of it as being positive because it shares with everyone that it's not about the money, price tag, or things. It's about the slow, simple living in life and appreciating and enjoying every little morsel of things that come into your home, come into your life. Recently, our daughter took us out for breakfast, and it was so enjoyable to me because it's been so long since I had something like that I realized, wow, how much I appreciate the little things now compared to what I used to be.